At RAF Mildenhall in Suffolk. What we're about to see is the Bell Boeing CV-22 Osprey. Initially the high-speed pass down the display line in conventional aircraft mode, coming down to about 100 feet, and we'll see the aircraft break up and away, up to anything between 500 and 1500 feet, depending on what the pilot decides to do in the conditions, ready for a descending turn back towards the display line for a pass in the opposite direction. The engines, a pair of Rolls-Royce Allison A1107 turbo shafts of around 6,200 plus shaft horsepower each, and the diameter of those big rotors cum propellers 11.6 metres or 38 feet. Advantages of the tilt rotor over the conventional helicopter are its greater speed and its longer range. The Osprey is able to transport 24 combat troops, 20,000 pounds of cargo internally, or up to 15,000 pounds of cargo slung externally, and it's air-to-air refuelling capable. And of course, compared with a fixed-wing aircraft, it's able to land in much more confined areas, a real boon when operating such a machine as this into the battlefield. As I said, a product of both Bell and Boeing. Bell produces the wing, the transmissions, the empennage, the rotor systems and the engine installation. Boeing builds the fuselage, all the subsystems, digital avionics and the fly-by-wire control systems. So as it breaks away from us, the crew is going to be setting up for a landing, and we'll see here the aircraft's conversion into VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing mode. And there you can see the tilting of the rotors, which of course is key to this aeroplane. And the pilots who fly the CV-22 model that we see here in US Air Force Special Operations Command Service can use those tilt rotor capabilities to assist them in low-level missions or in more restricted terrain. The rotors can be tilted upwards and the aircraft slowed down to help it make tighter turns and stay lower over the terrain. However, the aircraft's overall performance also gives them the option to fly above any threats that might emanate from the ground. It's very flexible in other ways. At lower weights, Osprey pilots would often tilt the nacelles to 80 degrees to make a so-called jump takeoff. At higher weights, aircraft-style takeoffs are more common, but they can still perform a jump takeoff. And there is just such a departure, climbing rapidly to 500 feet. And again, we'll see the transition here into aircraft mode. The rotor's tilting forwards, and away it goes.
Immediately as they are waiting for you. That's Nikki King. Please return to your coach at bus stop 4. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sam. The Osprey, in service with the US Marine Corps in MV-22B form, first saw a combat deployment in Iraq in 2007. They were used a great deal in theatre, and a couple of years later they deployed to Afghanistan for the first time. The CV-22B that we see here of the US Air Force performs long-range missions in support of Special Operations Command forces. They infiltrate those forces into the battle area, they can resupply them once they're there, and they exfiltrate them and take them away. The aircraft's combat radius, 500 nautical miles, with the internal auxiliary fuel tank, but they can also air-to-air refuel from MC-130 Hercules, one of which we've also got in the static part here, to give them a range of more than 2,000 nautical miles and up to around 5 hours endurance. Can carry a .50 machine gun on the rear ramp. In fact, this one's doing so during this display. They've also got a rescue hoist and fast roping equipment for the rapid deployment of special forces. They can deploy by those methods, or they can also undertake parachute jumps off the rear ramp. The Air Force version has greater fuel capacity than the Marine Corps one. It's operated by 4 crew, 2 pilots and 2 flight engineers, as against 3 of the Marine aircraft, and it's equipped with a terrain following radar to help in the low-level environment. The US Air Force is also looking at arming its Ospreys further, and it has a requirement for a forward-firing gun to be fitted to the type, and Bell Boeing are looking at further developments in line with the vogue for multi- and swing-roll platforms. They're looking at anti-submarine warfare and gunship versions. They've tested rocket and missile armament. The Marine Corps Ospreys are now going to gain an air-to-air refueling capability and will become tankers themselves, which, thanks to the aircraft's wide speed range, can refuel fighters as well as helicopters and other Ospreys. It's even been suggested that the V-22 could in future become an electronic warfare or airborne early warning platform. A deal was done to supply the type to the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force. Transport Squadron carrying support personnel and the media, and the latest role is seeing 44 Ospreys being procured as carrier-on-board delivery platforms for the US Navy to replace the venerable C-2 Greyhound, resupplying its aircraft carriers. Earlier this month, a big new deal for 78 Ospreys was done with Bell Boeing, covering further aircraft for the carrier-on-board delivery, or COD role, as well as more for the Marine Corps, the Air Force, and for Japan, and that will secure the future of the Osprey production line until at least the year 2024. It's in service with several wings of US Air Force Special Operations Command, the 27th Special Operations Wing at Cannon Air Force Base, New Mexico. The 352nd at Mildenhall received Ospreys in 2013, and in April this year the 353rd Special Operations Group in Japan received the aircraft earlier than anticipated. Back in aircraft mode then for a final high-speed pass in from left to right from the 7th Special Operations Squadron of the US Air Force at RAF Mildenhall, thus the Bell-Boeing CV-22 Osprey. A very nice performance by Major Sean Carroll. And there is a second example of the type in the static park, should you wish to have a closer look.